Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as you can probably tell, it's a bit of a celebratory mood over here on the Saint channel. And there are a couple reasons for, well, why that's happening. Wuthering Waves is in one of the best situations it's ever been in, right? With so much drip marketing, so much content, so much amazing things going on. And the thing that really stands out about where Wuwa is that it's the exact opposite of another gacha game in the space that I personally despise. And I despise it, not because of necessarily what the game stands for or what the game is, but because of the people behind the game. The developers, the publishers, whoever is in charge of taking a game with a bunch of potential and driving it into the core of the earth until it comes out on the other side of the world. And that is Hypergriff. And that game is Arknights Endfield. Because holy shit, is this game a disaster? And what I wanted to focus on today was the abject amount of toxic positivity that persists when a game is dying. Because Endfield, ladies and gentlemen, is dying. I don't know what else to describe when it comes to a game that used to have hundreds of thousands of viewers at its peak, almost 4,000 channels at its peak, and now it's sitting at 278 live viewers, 39 live channels for a nice, round, amazing average of like, what, 7 viewers per fucking channel, and then it looks like this shit on like Twitch where like, bro, it's like VTuber after VTuber after VTuber after VTuber, and then Coffee Freak over here with 17 viewers, right? Sorry, 12. The game's just dead. And I don't even mean to be like in this category to draw any negative attention towards anybody. Just nobody plays this game because it's not good. And honestly, it's just like a bit of advice for anyone in the category. You're probably not going to grow in a dead... You're probably just not going to grow as like a streamer or a content creator or whatever, streaming in a dead category because nobody wants to watch this shit. I'm sorry, but it's just like... in case that's what you were trying to do. But if you're just streaming for fun, go for it. It's not a good spot. However, what you'll notice is that the community's response to this game dying across pretty much every single metric possible, because I've shown you, well, Twitch tracker trends, right? But you might be saying, "Oh, Saint, you're just looking at data that's not favorable to Endfield. Why don't you go take a look at stats like YouTube instead?" These are the YouTube stats. Yeah, this was the peak of the game during its release. It was at a 100. Currently, it's at a 7. Before release, it was at an 11. So this game is now less popular on YouTube than it was before the game came out. This is like you having ED so bad that, like, when you get an erection, it goes inside your body. That's what this chart essentially is. Because how are you on YouTube lower in popularity now, 4 or 5 months after release, than you were before it? Bro, you less popular now than you was before release. How bad do you need to fuck up your game to do that? How bad does your game have to be to do that? Well, let's find out. Because there's been a ton of individuals in the Arknights Endfield community who have decided, hey, fire's everywhere. Everybody's dying. Views are down in every single metric possible. Spending is down in every single metric possible. Arknights Endfield just came off the back of a, like, $20 million revenue drop and had the lowest out of all the big gacha games in the past month. Revenue-wise, it's dying as well. But what do people do? Defense posts. This one over here. Let's read it. Let's read the title. Hot take. Enfield's current state 100% needs improvements, but people keep using terrible comparisons to other gachas and unnecessary exaggerations. Guys, something's wrong with this game. Something's wrong with this game. Something's wrong with this game. That's happening, right? Something's wrong with this game. But it's not what everyone's saying is wrong with it. Yeah, there's something wrong with this game, but it's not what everyone else is saying it is. And you want to know what I love about this? This entire post is just all about kind of like negating, saying why all of like the criticism about Endfield are wrong. And it gives all the reasons for it, right? But then it says this. Ultimately, Endfield is in a state of needing constant improvement. And while I would like that to happen as soon as tomorrow, development and implementation takes far longer than what the average gacha player's cooked attention span thinks. The game's fucked up the metrics on it are terrible in every way. We know something is wrong, and they're just saying all the reasons for why it's wrong are incorrect, and they're providing no actual solutions. All they're saying is the players don't actually know what they want. Hypergriff knows better. Give them time, and they'll fix it. And that's just what this dog shit subreddit is currently filled with, ladies and gentlemen. Just post after post after post of literal delusion. People who are in full defense mode, to the point where they're just trying to delegitimize every single critique, but then they're not even providing the actual critiques or what to really even fix. They're just saying everyone's fucking wrong. How are you this delusional when this is the reality of your fucking game? How are you this delusional when it's literally, bro, these are the month-over-month metrics. You lost 1,500 players in 1 month, then only gained 700 back. You're still down 900 from 2 months ago. And guys, there's still 14 more days of April. There's still 14 more days of this many live viewers daily. Just so you know, there's 14 more days. There's 14 more days of June. My bad. And so this is just gonna bring down that average over here even fucking more. I wouldn't even be surprised if this shit hits the triple digits within like 5 days. So that's one defense post over here. I'm not even gonna bother reading this dog shit because I can just summarize for you what's wrong with Arknights Endfield. Endfield is clearly trying to appeal to a player base, right? Of mainstream gacha players. And what they decided to do was implement a lot of like the mainstream gacha systems, but just make them worse than every other game. Stamina is worse than Genshin, than HSR, than Wuthering Waves. The gacha's worse than Genshin, HSR, Wuthering Waves. There's so much stuff in here. There's like expiring currency that's worse than all the other games. And so naturally, right, it's using like 2010 systems with like a 2025 look, but then people engage with it and they're just like, this is some fucked up shit. And so when people tell these guys what to fix to bring people back, they're just saying, oh, it's just this mainstream gacha slop. We need to make sure that our game is not for the tourists. Your game was already made for tourists. That's why it got so many viewers when it initially released. That's why there's so many people streaming it, because it was trying to be mainstream. And now you're saying, oh, we don't want to be mainstream no more. Well, congratulations. This is the game. It's fucked up now. And now people are trying to offer solutions on how to fix it. And all you keep saying is that they're wrong, but you don't provide any solutions yourself. And so the game is just going to stay stagnant in a piece of dog shit forever. And then eventually EOS. That's the reality of it, but these guys clearly want that to happen. So yeah, that's why we're not reading these dumbass fucking posts. Because clearly, when all they're trying to do is defend, and they're not trying to fix anything, what's the fucking point? Now there's this one over here. And we might actually read this one. A rant about the alleged content drought. Adding my take to the content drought discussion. Oh, sorry, this is another big thing that came up with Endfield. One of the massive reasons for why it's had such a ridiculous, disgusting player fall off is because there's been no fucking content in the game. Yeah, but this is a thing that's been consistent since the release of the game. These guys decided to wait when the game came out 4 months to put in, 4 weeks to put an endgame. This game didn't have an endgame mode for you to use your maxed out characters for like 4 weeks. So you just sat there grinding, leveling up all these gears, grinding all these essences, building your characters for you to go do like sanity expenditure, your dailies, and that was it. There was no actual challenging content, and they refused to put it in for months. And so yeah, there's a big old content drought in this game that people are hating. Who could be shocked about that one? Quick disclaimer. This is just some of the stuff. He's a free-to-play player that plays like 3 gacha games. This is mostly going to be a straight-up comparison between Endfield and Wuwa, because they're the most similar of the titles that I'm playing. And currently, Wuwa is getting non-stop glazing, while Endfield keeps getting shit on for some reason. So let's read this. And look at this amazing comparison being made by this amazing intellectual over here. My first point is the content schedule is almost identical between Wuwa and Endfield. No, it's not. But no one is making videos complaining about a Wuwa content drought. So this is the difference between Wuwa and Endfield. In Wuwa, there's actually things to do. Yeah, there's actually things to do in that game. And one thing that you permanently have available to do in Wuthering Waves, and this is why I think RNG gear systems are a great add. And after Endfield, I am going to be a 100% supporter of them forever. You want to know what you get to do forever in a game like Wuwa or Genshin or HSR or ZZZ? Yeah, you get to build your characters. That's actually the nice part of an RNG gear system. No matter what's going on, you have a way to spend your wave plates. You have a way to like spend your energy. You have a way to make progress. In Endfield, stuff comes to an end because like your grinding comes to a fucking end. And so there are legitimately days in Endfield where you can't do anything. Also, leveling up characters in Endfield has to be the most boring, soulless experience ever seen in a gacha before. And so, yeah, people probably just get lost in the weeds of the most monotonous bullshit they've ever seen. And then that's probably why the game feels boring as well. The number of events and stuff also is just like, are they on crack cocaine? Like, bro, I've never seen this many tabs in an Endfield menu before. I remember for a couple of days, there were like 2 things in the Endfield menu. But this was like 1.1 or 1.2. So like, I think in 1.1, there was 2 things in the menu for like 14 days. The first patch of the game. It was like the first phase of the game too. It was like the first 14 days of 1.1. There was 1 event to do. Let's not play any games here. Are you retarded? One thing I'll dispute from 2BI's post is people who complain so much, but in reality have already burst through nearly 100 hours of content in a single day. Endfield will launch patches that have no active event for several days. So yeah, it's just people will have completed all the content in the patch in like an hour or 2, because that's all that's available when a patch releases in Endfield, aside from like the story. As you can kind of see, this is the degree of defense that people are going on. And the only reason why I read out part of this post was to show you that somebody put a lot of time into this one, just trying to smear Wuwa and glaze Endfield at the same time. But guys, read this. All they're doing is trying to bring Wuwa down. They're not even trying to like defend Endfield over here. They're just trying to bring Wuwa down to Enfield's level. And this guy writes an entire essay and only gets 3 upvotes. This is how unemployed. This is how, like, fucking desperate. This is how much of a fucking loser this community is. I know I was hyping that up, right? Like, it was cooking. Now, I did that all just to show you. It has 3 upvotes and 3 comments. He wrote all of this. And, like, you know this isn't written by AI because, like, there's, like, too many, like, there's, like, too many, like, boldings and formatting, right? For this to be done by AI. Like, guys, like, look at the formatting and the italics. Like, this is italics and bolded. Bro, he took the time to put, like, press Control-I, Control-B, and, like, Reddit format this entire post. He was like, no, and then, like, it got 3 upvotes. This is this community. And do you see why so many posts defending this game are so retarded? Because it's because the posts defending this game are being made by dumb people. AI scanned it, did AI bold and italicize this. Bro, you gotta do this shit manually! Bro, you gotta, like, do this shit intentionally and manually! This is how desperate they're going. But this post over here, this is the cream of the crop. The game doesn't lack content. It lacks gacha slop content. All they do in this post, let's read the headers. RNG farming, no bi-weekly fake boss fights, no weekly mode, less amount of slop events, no FOMO to log in every day. Yeah, no, just forget the fact that your banner disappears and your pity expires. Yeah, forget that. No, there's definitely no FOMO involved. Guys, all this post is saying is, if you thought this one was, oh, they're just defending the game, saying their critiques are bullshit, but not providing actual solutions. Bro, this is, they're defending the game, saying all their critiques are bullshit and not offering solutions. Take it to infinity and beyond. He's just listing out all the reasons for why people are quitting the game, all the reasons for why the game is dying, and just saying that's not why. What are the real reasons for why the game is dying? The game's actually good. It shouldn't be dying. And this is the most highly upvoted post in the subreddit in the last 24 hours. This is like The Last Stand, like the Alamo, except it's all a bunch of, like, the people defending it have Down syndrome. I don't even know what's going on here, bro. What the fuck? Like, they're just out here posted up. Who's trying to talk shit about Endfield? And then it's like, bro, it's like burning around them. The building's crumbling. Like, if they don't leave in the next, like, 10 minutes, they're all gonna die. But they're, like, still trying to, like, defend the base. Like, just leave. Like, what are you doing? Part of me is thinking, Hypergriff is now sponsoring Reddit users. Hypergriff is sponsoring fucking Reddit users to make sponsored posts now. Defending the game. It, bro, clearly, the thousands of dollars that they're paying Gacha Smack to release a 7.5k view video. A fucking 7.5k view video. Clearly, that was money well spent. Now let's go start sponsoring Reddit users to make posts defending this dog shit game. Bro, this is probably the most engagement the game's gotten in a singular avenue. This is probably more poppin' than any Twitch stream this game has had in the past, like, week. Any YouTube video the game has had in the past week. It's probably this one. This probably gotten more sponsored viewership. Probably done more for the game's reputation than the past 20 Endfield videos that have been sponsored. Because you wanna know what the reality is, guys? Why don't we hear it from Kukikaze himself? And we all know who Kukikaze is, right? He's kind of like one of the OGs. And he's somebody that has suffered a lot from this game being a piece of shit. Because guess what? He's a fan of Arknights. He loves the game. He loves the IP. I think he used to love Hypergriff. I don't think he loved them no more after this bullshit. We all know that Endfield, right? We looked at the Google Trends chart and all of that. It was popping for a minute. I was in there like swimwear, bro. I farmed so many videos. We made a good couple K off of Endfield content. Then it fell down a cliff and I stopped making it, which is like the natural thing to do because the game was bad. But some people, they just like the game and they want to keep making the content. And it's all fine to do that, right? If the game actually got better. But the game's just been getting progressively worse and worse and worse. And it just keeps going down and down and down. And at some point, guys, even some of the most positive members of the community who be making these videos out of love for the game, literally, sometimes even they can crack. Because listen to this.
I'm either a hater or a glazer. There's no in between.
Why would you think he said something like that? I'm either a hater or a glazer. There's no in between. Let's check the beginning of this clip then.
Like, I'm taking the time to explain what I like about the game. But you know why or not? Because Endfield people are softies.
The title of the stream is Re-Reviewing Arknights Endfield. And this is like a part of the stream, right, where he's critiquing the game. And he's like, somebody in chat probably told him, hey, Kooky, you're being too negative. Can you talk about what's good in Endfield? And this was his response. I could do that, but bro, I'm kind of fucking annoyed by the Endfield community.
If I don't say on the first second, it always happens on YouTube. If I don't say on the first second that my current stance is I like the game, they'll think I hate the game.
If you don't like everything about the game, you must hate it. Guys, they're saying this to the guy that's uploaded 1,000-something Arknights videos. They're not 1,000 Endfield videos, but it's like a couple hundred Endfield videos at this point. But yeah, he's got 1.3k videos all centered around Hypergriff and Arknights. So yeah, he's receiving that commentary from this community of retarded kids. Yeah, like guys, even like what's his Ninonetter, I don't even know how you say that. That doesn't even look like English. Doesn't look like any other language either, though.
But then again, it doesn't win, because if I tell them there's problems with the game, they'll just think I hate the game. It's like, I cannot stand a ground of like, guys, I love the game right now, but there are problems. Can you listen to me?
How can you say that there's a problem with the game when the game could be doing the worst it could possibly be fucking doing, and then all people will do is try to deny that it has problems? You'll have a guy walk into the hospital and half his fucking body got blown off by a bazooka. Endfield players are a doctor saying just walk it off, you're good. This dude is literally standing there in the OR dripping. And you're just saying, you can walk it off, you're good, bro. Yeah, just put some flex tape on that hoe. Because this game is terminal, bro. Bro, this game, if a game could have cancer, I would say Arknights Endfield has cancer. And they're telling you it's perfectly fucking fine. This shit feels like it's less than a year from EOS. But don't worry, guys. Kukikaze, he ain't the only person saying this shit. We've got analytical vibes. Anal vibes. The guy known for relentlessly glazing Arknights Endfield forever. So many videos talking about how amazing this game has been for months. Now suddenly it needs to get a grip. Guys, this downtrend has been happening for 4 months. Why is it now that Endfield needs to get a grip? Guys, why does Endfield need to get a grip now? What about the last 4 months? Why does Endfield only suddenly need to start getting a grip now? Oh wait, we're beginning to see the trend over here, right? The community is one of the worst ones ever seen in the gacha space. The community is literally possibly the worst we've ever seen. Because guys, they're more toxic positive than Hoyoverse. Something about me believes Hoyo shills would stop glazing Genshin if it didn't make any money. Like, if Genshin had a $2 million month on Sensory Tower, I'm pretty sure Genshin players would start, like, shitting on the game. Endfield players will pull in the lowest revenue month recorded in gacha history and still defend the game. Legitimately, like, the lowest revenue month anyone has ever fucking seen for any game ever. And, like, Endfield players will still defend it. I don't even think Genshin people would do that. I don't even think, like, Hoyo shills would do that. But Endfield players will. The white knighting here is insane. And clearly, it bled through to the content creation community as well. To the point where I was the only guy that was actually willing to just say the truth about the game. Because clearly, I've been the only guy openly saying the truth about the game for months. Because if you're saying it's all shit now, it's the same game it's been for 5 months, guys. But when the community's like this, and they shit on you relentlessly, say you're a hater if you don't glaze the game, if you don't glaze the game 24/7. Is it a surprise that only now CCs are starting to talk about this? Endfield needs to get a grip 2 days ago. What happened over the last 4 months when the game's been arguably worse? Arknights Endfield has a problem 5 days ago. What about the last couple of months? Endfield content situation is genuinely insane. It's been like that since 1.0. What about the past couple of months? It's because this game has had the worst, again, one of the worst communities we've ever seen in the gacha space. And when these are your top hosts in the past 24 hours, they're all just defending the game using the worst reasoning ever, providing no real solutions. It's just looking at a burning building and saying this is fine. And that's all there is when it comes to discussion surrounding this game. There's no saving this. Like legitimately, I think most people will be happy to see this game disappear and die in EOS. Because the community is making that extremely easy if you're somebody that used to play the game. Imagine being somebody that was thinking about coming back. Maybe that liked Endfield, dropped it because it's currently not good, but then you're thinking about coming back to it later. And then every time there's discussion about fixing the game, every time there's a discussion about modifying the things that made you quit, you see these retards fighting tooth and nail to change nothing and allow the game to keep dying. Bro, would you want to come back and like rejoin that community? Bro, no, you'll be happy that you dropped the game and it'll just make your decision to quit permanent. These guys are killing the game and they're ensuring that it can't get revived. And unfortunately, guys, Hypergriff is listening to them because there's a phenomenon that Cookie's talking about over here. As a game dies, normal players who would listen to critique, who would have reasonable responses, leave. Because the game's not good. And if you're a normal person, you're not going to subject yourself to playing a bad game. If you knew somebody where all they did was watch bad movies and play bad games and never played good games or good movies, you think they're weird. That's probably not a normal person. If a normal person is playing a game and then it turns into shit, they're probably going to leave the game. And that's what most Endfield players that were playing on release did. They left. And guess who's left? These fucking freaks. Bro, all the normal people left. That's why these fucking freaks are just like out here literally just destroying the fucking game. Because everyone normal has gone. The people that would downvote this and say and call this guy an idiot, they're gone. And all you have left are actual like people who probably breathe and eat through tubes, writing posts on Reddit defending this game. And that's what they're doing. Probably sponsored as well. And this is honestly my favorite sort of like wrap up to this situation. And this is words from Kooky 5 days ago. Because 5 days ago is when Endfield CCs and players really started this whole sort of like doomer arc. Let's listen to this.
None of the other content creators that are not just playing AKE is like playing AKE anymore. Really. All the people who were sponsored and then got interested in AKE, they're not there anymore.
Kooky calling everybody grifters. You want to know who's oddly enough not a grifter? Me. I'm the opposite of a grifter. Do you want to know why? Because I actually quit the game. The game turned so shit, I actually just quit it. And all I do now is make content every time a new update comes out to point out what's shit with the game. And I can't be grifting because all I've consistently said is that all of the Endfield updates are fucking bad. Right? All I've said is that they're fucking bad. Look, Endfield 1.1. Disaster. Endfield 1.2. Garbage. Endfield 1.3. Disaster. I've been consistent. I say the same thing every time because the game hasn't gotten better. And guess what? The viewer count just keeps going down with every version. So I can't be grifting by definition because I'm saying the truth. I said I think the game's shit and then the game's shit. You know what I mean? It's quite poetic how it all works out, right?
They're now off to all the other main games to play. Like, yeah, it's hilarious for me to say.
And that's part of the issue. Hypergriff just wants to sponsor people to make content about the game when the game isn't good. They just want to pay people like Gacha Smag to put out a 7K view video and pretend that the game is popping algorithmically. They could just invest that money into making the game good and then people make content by themselves. But that would be too hard, so why not just pay people to make the videos for us? And the end result is that Kooky is now uploading videos like this shit, right? Smug Sly is now uploading videos about this shit. Anal Vibes is now uploading videos on this shit. Moose on Cocaine now uploading videos about this shit. Because your game's bad. That's why everyone's making videos about how bad the game is. They're not making videos about what's good in the game. They're making videos about what the game is shit for. 4 CCs for this game in the past 6 days all uploaded a video or live stream, multiple hour live stream, calling this game shit. Bro, and these guys were some of the biggest glazers of this game. Like, I could actually call Moose on Cocaine a hyper grifter. I can actually call Anal Vibes a hyper grifter. They're like actually hyper grifters. And now, like it's so bad, and the views are so down, and like the analytics are so fucking awful that even they can't keep lying anymore.
You could even argue that the only person keeping Endfield alive is Saint Dust. I'm saying this without a tinge of a joke.
And after Kooky said this, everyone starts dropping critique videos about the game. Because there's nothing to talk about in the game other than how bad it is. So why don't we all upload content talking about how bad the game is? Because guys, Endfield woke up. And you want to know, oddly enough, what helped Endfield wake up? By ensuring that its CC space was filled with fucking grifters. Because I think that those 4 people that I showed, right? The Kookies, the Smug Slabs, the Analytical Vibes, the Moose on Cocaines, probably can throw in Kiostin, and there's like Supa in there too. Bro, there are barely any Endfield creators. Because Hypergriff, by sponsoring people, the only time 98% of Endfield CCs have played Endfield is when they're paid. And guys, once you're paid for something, you're almost never going to do it for free again. That's why you should never marry a prostitute. What do you think is going on with these CCs where they previously been given thousands of dollars to stream a game, upload a video, and they've been getting that constantly, month over month? Are they ever going to play that shit for free ever again? No, they're not. You already paid me thousands of dollars to play your fucking game. Why would I ever play that shit for free again? The good news is that this shouldn't give PTSD to anybody in my chat because you're all broke except for Foot Lover and Nature. So like maybe those guys can have like some of the like maybe those guys can like relate to what I'm talking about over here, but the rest of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about, so don't pretend you do. All these CCs that are making actual content for this game, they see how bought out, performative, and fake the space has become. They're just looking around, they're just like, wow. Maybe the sponsors, the bad marketing, spending thousands of dollars for people to fake their enjoyment about Endfield, which we have literal proof that they did, by the way, don't worry. Thousands of dollars. They sponsored XQC to play this shit. Bro, he was not enjoying, I barely trust XQC to play fucking, what's it called? To play QWOP, bro. What do you think he's going to do in a factory? And that's the reality. The game just dies. And these guys have been seeing this game basically put into a sleeper hold by Hypergriff. Bro, it's like they've been watching Hypergriff suffocate this baby with a pillow for like the past 5 months. And I guess now they've just decided to finally start being like, yo, like maybe you should like not do that by uploading these videos and these live streams. I'm glad it's happening. I'm glad it's happening, right? But you can clearly see from the community, right? Guys, they're doing their best to make sure that pillow stays on tight, because everything can be going wrong with this game and they'll still defend it. And I don't think I've ever seen a community before that will just so openly try to negate any criticism while not even trying to fix the root issue of the game, when all you can see is red. Literally nothing else across every metric possible. The most delusional community in Gacha history. And they've all been exposed today. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.